Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Today's phrase is to play out. To play out. And it can be used in a few different ways, but basically it means to refer to the way in which a situation or series of events develop. Let me give you some examples to make it clearer. It is actually very easy. So if you think of something, let's say a project at work, and that's going to be developed over 6 months, okay? You can say, let's wait and see how the development of the project plays out. It means let's wait and see how it develops. Here's another example. I'm not sure how the negotiations with the company will go, but we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. Another one might be the chess match is playing out slowly, or in the past tense, the chess match played out slowly, with each player carefully considering their moves. I'm currently in dispute or have a dispute with my friend. I'm a little bit concerned about it, but I'll just have to wait and see how things play out. So it's kind of like a synonym of saying what will happen, or how things will move or move along to play out. It's actually very, very common here in the UK to use this, so I'd be a bit surprised if you haven't heard it already. In a personal relationship, you can say, we're both going to different colleges, so we'll have to wait and see how our relationship plays out if it becomes long distance. The criminal trial is expected to play out over several months. You also could say, with the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence, it's really difficult to predict how things will play out in our daily lives. And we'll just do one more. As more and more educators move online, we'll have to see how this change plays out with regards to the future of education. To play out is very common, and it probably has its history with relation to drama. Now, let me just explain. It probably comes from the world of drama, because when we go to watch something on the stage in the theatre, it's called a play. I'm going to watch a play tonight. Oh, great, enjoy. I'm going to the theatre tonight. Oh, really? What play is on? Or what play is playing? And so, of course, when you're at the theatre, they play out the performance. So that's probably where it comes from. One thing which is going through Parliament right now, it's in the news today, is the regulation of pedicabs. Now, for those of you who don't know what a pedicab is, if you've ever been to London, or maybe even in any city of the world, you'll see them. It's basically a man on a bicycle, and you sit in a little cab in the back. And it's like a little taxi, but it's not a car, it's a bike. And you have a little place to sit. It's like a little wagon, a little cab, and the man obviously rides the bike. I mean, he must be very strong to do it. And he can give you a little tour, or he can take you from place to place in a much cheaper way and in a more scenic way than a taxi cab can. Now, pedicabs, as they're known, are very dangerous. It's not because you're likely to have an accident, although that is possible. It's because they're not insured. So if you do have an accident, wow, that's it. It's game over because you're not going to get any money from anybody. We're advised here in the UK never to use them because they're not safe, they're not regulated, they're not insured. You don't really know who the driver is. And also, with the way people drive around London, you'd have to be very careful. They get in the way of real taxis. They often don't really know where they're going because the driver himself, or the cyclist, I should say, may not be local. There are even companies which are pushing people to operate pedicabs. So if you are in London, you should really avoid them. The government has decided that it's going to regulate pedicabs. Now, it's not going to be easy to do that. It probably will mean creating some kind of license to operate them so that they can get insurance. Pedicabs are incredibly dangerous, so we'll need to see how that plays out at Westminster. Now, how that plays out at Westminster, Westminster is our government. We sometimes call it Westminster because it's based in that area of London. You know, Westminster Bridge is where Big Ben is. So they'll be debating it in the Houses of Parliament over the coming months. So we'll need to wait and see how that plays out. Oh, I'd never use one of those. Oh, no. I don't like that kind of thing at all. In other news today, here in the UK, there's a helicopter in the news. It's an ex-Falklands military helicopter, and you can stay in it because it's been converted into a room which can sleep 4 people. So it's a helicopter which was used during one of our conflicts regarding the Falkland Islands, and it's from the 1960s. That's when it was built. It comes complete with bedroom interior and a rural shower. I don't know anything about helicopters, but it says here the model is a Westland Wessex XT469 helicopter, and it was active during the Falklands War in 1982. It was sold on eBay and then converted into a little place where you can stay. It was on eBay for £12,500 back in November, and then it turned up as a little place that you can rent out. I'm looking at a picture of it here. It does look beautiful, I have to say. I mean, it's very spacious. I had no idea helicopters could be so big. It's almost like a little dormitory of some kind. Let's see. A listing for the accommodation says, come to this intimate and exclusive glamping site. Yeah, this is a word that I only discovered a few days ago. And glamping is very similar to camping, but it's more luxurious. So if you think of the word glam, like glamorous, and you apply that to camping, you get glamping. So it's not quite sleeping in a tent. The accommodation is a little bit better. However, you will still be in basic surroundings up to a point. There's a famous advert on our TVs right now for glamping, and it involved a bunch of women arriving looking perfect, dressed as if they're going for a night out to a glamp site. However, they find their way into a very rainy day, and they have problems getting out of that. So yes, that's glamping. Glamping is when you go camping, but it's more glamorous. And there can be a lot of problems with that, just like these women in the advertisements. They're obviously heading into a campsite, but there's lots of mud and rain and terrible weather. And they have the handbags and the short skirts, not realizing exactly what their accommodation is going to be like. So, glamping and camping. Yes. So, this listing says head to this intimate and exclusive glamping site in the center of the island, named after a historic windmill which was close by. This area is characterized by scenic views, rolling fields, and roaming livestock. The area has been very famous since 1965, and the helicopter is an original masterpiece of aviation technology and was in active duty during the Falklands War. From the outside, it doesn't really look like very much, but they've actually put up a little shed next to it, which is its entrance. So that's what makes it look bigger. So they put up a little shed and attached it to the helicopter. And so that means that the helicopter is much easier to access with a little shed at the side. And the sign says the camouflaged helicopter, complete with bedroom interior and a rural shack for guests. And then it says the conversion of the helicopter has retained as much of the original character and feel as possible. From the pilot's area, relax and watch the sunset over the surrounding countryside. Usually this sleeps too and is a great romantic retreat or honeymoon. And then it tells us a little bit more that there's also a mini bedroom with a foam mattress for an additional 2 children. And the whole thing uses solar power to provide hot showers. And it even has its own kitchen, cloakroom, toilets, and all of the facilities. Oh, very interesting, isn't it? I have no intention of going glamping, but it'll be interesting to see how this holiday resort plays out. I mean, it's going to become very popular, not because anyone here has an interest in war, but it's just unique. It's one of these things that is incredibly unique. Obviously, the owners must have had a few pounds. That's one thing which I like about English people, especially those who live in the South. They're very good at opening shops, creating business ventures, and things to enjoy. And that's not something which people in other parts of the country do, because in the UK, people aren't really so empowered in the North to do such things, and there isn't such an interest. But people in the South are always looking for business opportunities. So it's wonderful. Yes, yes. So very interesting, very interesting. Well, that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let's see how your day plays out, and I'll be back with you again soon. See you. Bye.